of a Marketer podcast. Today, you're going to join me as I scope out a deal for a new prospect for our agency. We are going to be doing meta ads as a lead generation tactic, also to run some brand awareness for them. This is a newer service that we're running. I would say in the last 6 months, I've really been pitching this more and more and more. And now we've got it to the point where it's a little bit more standardized, a little bit more templatized. Now, traditionally, our agency focused on selling search marketing. 90% of our client retainers are SEO, PPC, and LSA. But if you've been following any of my content recently, I've really been kind of bashing SEO and paid search specifically for lawyers recently because a lot of the times they're just priced out of the market. It's too competitive, they're too late. And Meta offers a much better option for most law firms to be able to get into the market and compete and generate leads. So we've been doing this service a little bit more. We finally got to the point now where we're comfortable with it. We've got a process for it. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with you today. You can just join me as I build an actual scope of work proposal. If you have any questions about this, drop it in the chat along the way. I'll be answering this live. Again, today's going to be a little bit more of a working session, so kind of feel what a workday looks like for me sometimes. So I have this call actually with this prospect in exactly 1 hour. So I need to get this done. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I'll show you what I have so far, and I'll show you what the plan is to build this thing out. So I've got this strategy deck that I've been using. I've been creating a lot of content with this, filming a lot of video with this. So I've got this strategy deck that I use to basically build a training and build a lot of content. This is on our agency's YouTube channel, by the way. Just Google WebRisk YouTube and you'll find some of these videos so you can see what some of this final cut content looks like. But I also use this on sales presentations to help them understand if Meta is a good fit for them and really to sell them on Meta ads. So this is by no means a proposal. This is just a strategy deck, completely strategy deck, but we can use this for our service. I can use this in pitching. I'm using this for content. So I'm a big presentation and deck guy. I think it really guides conversations, helps me keep myself on task when I'm creating content, but also gives the client prospect something tangible to look at, to discuss internally. So what we have here is it's about 45 slides, right? 46 slides. Again, I need to kind of reformat this a little bit and make this in a little bit more of a pitch. So if I were to kind of just walk you through this real quick so you understand what's in this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to feed this to Claude AI, and I also have a templated kind of proposal scope of work that I use that I'm going to use to fill out and then ultimately pitch this. So I already know right now that this is going to be a $5,000 a month pitch. We'll talk about what goes into that, how I came up with that as we get through this. So inside of this deck, when I sit down with this prospect, I'm basically just going to run them through this, and I'm going to talk about how Meta fits into the overall acquisition cycle. It's good for top, mid, and kind of like bottom mid funnel ad targeting. Talks a little bit about how Meta ads work, the benefits, the challenges with Meta, and then it goes into our 8-step process for success. So this 8-step process is really what I'm going to use to turn this into a very detailed scope of work so they understand everything that they're going to get and everything that they will get. So I've already got Claude open over here too. Let me just go ahead and pop this into my browser tab here so I can get started with this. And essentially what I'm going to do is just take this information here, and I'm going to feed it to Claude as a prompt just to get the ball rolling on how I'm going to use this. So let me just go ahead and give me a second. Just let me type out this prompt. Basically just going to say, I need a scope of work for a law firm prospect who hire us to run their Facebook ads campaigns. Can you build? We have an 8-step process that we use to deliver the work provided below. Can you turn this into a scope of work? So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in there and get it ready. Again, as we go through this document here, as I have the conversation with this prospect, I still have to sell them, right? They're not done. So this is kind of like the final call, the final pitch that I do with them. I'm going to run them through this process. I'm going to skip through a lot of this stuff, but what I'm going to really focus on is, key elements of success when it comes to Meta ads for law firms, which is really targeting creative video. And those are like the three main, and like offers too, but I've already got the offers done for them too. So like understanding what your offer is to get people off of the meta ads platform into your lead generation cycle, lead generation system. I'm almost exclusively pitching injury and accident law firms, but I have all this broken down for different practice areas so they can see the difference and importance of offer design based on practice area, because it differs based on who you're trying to target, right? Family law is very different than injury accident. So I'm going to break that down for them. And then, I talk also about AI. I'm very open about how we use AI. I think if you lie about using AI, it only comes to bite you in the butt. But when you are open and honest about it and you tell them, it actually works very well for me when I tell them, like, I have a copywriting helper that I built that writes all of your copy. It's going to do all your video scripting. We have it trained. We've been using this for time and time again. It works. And oh, by the way, I used to have to charge you $2,000 a month for copywriting. I don't charge that for you anymore. So I'm rolling that in and saving you on the cost. It's not just like a profit center, which it is for us, but it's also just a huge crutch and benefit for us, because the reason why we have taken so long to offer Facebook ads as a service is because of all the different moving pieces that go into Facebook ads. Traditionally, copywriting being a very large one of them, script writing being a very large one of it. I've now got a prompt inside of Claude, right? And I can actually just show it to you too. I've got a project inside of Claude that I've been working on and training that is specifically built for the needs of lawyers. That's the one that I use to target lawyers. But I have this Weber's ads builder here, right? Where it's highly, 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 highly effective in terms of being able to give us output in creative recommendations, and also ad writing that it rivals any copywriter that I've ever worked with before. Kai asks, do you use Claude over GPT because of the quality? Struggling to see how that weighs. I personally use ChatGPT more of like as an assistant and research tool. Claude, I pretty much use exclusively as a writing tool. I find that Claude a little bit better interface for me when it comes to writing, but ChatGPT is good too, but I'm just a little bit more comfortable with Claude now. It's just a point of preference. Jeff asked, how do you compete against agencies and VC-backed companies if you're a small agency or a solo practitioner? Well, just like you would compete in anything else. I wake up in the morning and I put my underwear one foot at a time and say, today I'm going to fucking bury some people. I'm a brutally competitive person. I love the fact that I operate in a market that has agencies that are doing 20 times what I'm doing, but that motivates me. I want to beat them. And my direct answer to that too is you have to be better at something. So what are we better at? We're better at marketing. And I talk about this with my team all the time, is that you've got to understand what your superpower is. My superpower is different than your superpower. We're all snowflakes as human beings. We all do. I believe that we all do something uniquely well. You have to know how to tap into that and be able to then push that in your business. So for me, it's video. I'm doing a live video right now. Video kind of drives all the different things. I've gotten very good at it over time. And that is my business's superpower. One of them anyways, also process and systems design. But if you break it down, like what's the difference between my agency service and another agency service? If we're being honest with each other, it's probably not much. SEO is very commoditized. At the end of the day, it is what it is, right? So you have to be able to differentiate yourself on something. For us, from the acquisition sales point of view, where I go against some of my competitors in the law firm marketing space that are very, very good at marketing too, but they're very good at a different style of marketing. They're very good at going to conferences and getting on stage and building relationships. That's not me. I want to work at home. My son is about to turn 1 year old. I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to miss him, see a step. I don't want to miss any part of his life. I don't want to go to conferences. I don't want to meet people. I don't give a shit about that. What I care about is building my businesses, providing for my team, my staff, my employees, and most importantly, my family. I want to see every single step that my son takes. I want to see him speak his first word. All I have to do is slide up my office door and he's right there. I don't want to miss that. So that factors into how I'm going to run my businesses and how I'm going to ultimately market us and generate clients and run our service, all those different things. That's really important to me. Really, really important to me. And I also want to pass that on to my team. I don't want them to be in offices. I don't want them to sit in traffic and commutes. I don't want them going to conferences, unless they want to, of course, but that culture flows through me and flows through this style. So that's, Jeff, to answer your question, is ingrained in the DNA of this business. Like, we are marketers at our core, specifically video, advertising, long form content. We do it all, and we do it very well. And as long as I can keep getting in front of lawyers, we're going to keep having the success that we're having, keep growing. So I also believe in my core that I can scale that better than how my competitors are scaling their marketing. They've just been doing this a lot longer than I have. We've only been targeting law firms for 2 years maybe, but they hear us coming. They feel us coming. And I know they see me on their feeds all the time. And that makes me feel good. So fuck your VC. fuck your money back companies. That doesn't mean anything because what, you're just pumping more money into what, so I love to compete against it. It lights a fire under my ass. You can see me getting fired up about it now. Like, I personally will never take money from anybody. I think, sure, you can do that if you want, but like, nobody's ever going to tell me what the fuck to do with my business. And as soon as you take money from somebody else, they own your ass. They're telling you what to do. You report to them. I'm not into that life, right? Again, I have a different vision about how I want to live my life and what we are capable of doing in today's world, in today's economy, in today's climate. We're so blessed. I just had a conversation with my mother-in-law about my brother-in-law, my wife's older brother, who's 26 years old. And we were talking about how his generation is kind of getting screwed. I'm in Miami. He's getting priced out of the market for a lot of things. There's not a lot of work here unless you try and figure something else out for yourself. But I was telling her that, my grandfather got drafted to fight in World War II at 19 years old. Like, you want to talk about problems? Like, that's a fucking problem. My uncle got drafted to fight in Vietnam. Like, you want to talk about problems? Like, that's a problem, man. Like, a kid, can you imagine somebody coming up and knocking on your door and being like, hey, your son's coming with us. He's going to fight in a war where already 250,000 Americans have died. Like, that's a problem, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just feel so blessed to live in the world that we live in today, the opportunities that we're provided with. It's all here for us. And you can design and build your life, your business, everything around all the fruit that we've been provided, God-given, right? So, very long tangent there, Jeff, of how I view that stuff, and why I'll never take money from anybody for any of my businesses. I'll build it myself, and reinvest everything that I have back into the business. So, anyways, back to the proposal here. So, go back to Claude here and just see what Claude came up with. So we've got a pretty good outline of the scope here, which we'll get to in just 1 second. But I'll just come back in here, and I'm just going to continuously refine this a little bit. So again, it just goes through step by step, and it breaks down our process, goes through some ad examples, because this is a big thing here that I need to make sure that I touch on with them. I've also got a bunch of ad examples that we've found, right? So I think this is really important. Just a little hack here, right? One is that whatever you're doing, you should be using social media as a tool to learn and spy, not to just consume and waste. What I mean by that is that if I go to, I don't know if I'm logged in right now, but if I go to my company's Instagram account, right? I don't have it on my phone. I got rid of Instagram. I think it's a complete waste of time. I think it's a complete waste of your bandwidth and energy. It's nothing but garbage on there. But my agency's account, what we've done is twofold. Is one, we're constantly following law firms that we would love to be in contact with. And two, lawyers like Amanda here who crush it, who are constantly doing marketing the right way. And I learn from them by seeing that, right? This competitor here, they do an awesome job too. So I love following these people. And then, oh, by the way, when I see a video or an ad that I really like, you can download these videos for free. You just take the URL, right? Copy link, and you can download it for free. So I've been doing this for a better part of over a year now, where I'm constantly just finding ads, I'm finding content that I love, and I'm adding it here to this file here, and then I have them tagged and organized based on the different types of ads, right? So for example, I get asked a lot from attorneys, like, what if I can't get my attorney on camera? Well, I'm like, okay, here's an example of an ad that we can build for you, right? That's been proven to convert before in the past. So again, because I know I'm going to get asked that, because I've been doing this for long enough. I have a bunch of non-attorney talking head ads you can then use here that we can then roll out, rebuild, on our own with our own team internally if we're going to do that. Now, you also might be asking too, so, like, how am I going to make those videos? How am I going to get this stuff done? I'm going to walk through that because I don't have a copywriter to do this. I have one video editor who's overseas that's going to do this, but I'll talk about, just stay tuned with me about how we're going to build these videos if we don't have access to the attorney, or if we don't have access to any sort of like original content. So let's come back over here to the scope of work proposal here. So also, by the way, y'all, this template is inside of the blueprint.training. If you want access to all of our contract templates and proposals, it's all inside of there. So let's go to the campaign here. So the campaign is fine. Sometimes I like to put like a problem in here too. So we can say something like, add a problem. I'm not going to leave it because I know the context of this lead. I don't need to put in like a problem statement here. So project scope. Okay. So what I want to do here, the tracking analytics part is good here. Now what I want to do is I want to break this section down here into a much deeper. I'm actually going to take this and remove this. I'm just going to paste it there so I have it because I'm going to want to expand on it a little bit. But what I'm going to do is now I'm going to move this stuff over here. And timeline, I'll make that a separate one. Deliverables, I'll also make that a separate one. But I'm just going to take this part here and I'm just going to paste it right over here. Yo, I'm telling you, man, like these tools are so good for this type of stuff. You know, obviously you want to read through this, but at the same time, like, so I'll just make a note here. All of the following will be handled by Webris agency as a part I need to change the come on format painter. All right, it's new. Yeah, I'm just gonna normal text all this too. This is like okay. So offer development. And again, we also don't, because I have this presentation that I'm going to run them through, this aligns to the exact presentation that I'm going to give them. So I don't need to necessarily blow this out. You want it just to essentially be very simple and easy to understand. All right, so something that we're not going to do. Copywriting and scripting. I'm just going to do this, add copywriting and scripting. Add setup and management. All right, so we're good there. All right, so this is the portion now too where I'm going to have to put in like a note saying, so like, write me 50 words on how we will provide 5 video scripts per month, but the client will be responsible to film them and send them back. We will edit them. All right. I'm just going to paste this text down here because I just want to use this to make sure that I got everything inside of here. Kai said larger back companies can suck too in the law firm space. Big one or Scorpion, they're a steaming hot pile of garbage. You said it, Kai, not me. I don't want to get sued. They're a very large company. I don't want to get sued for bashing Scorpion. But yeah, I hear nothing but bad things about them from our prospects. That's what happens when you grow too much in the agency space, you know, especially, you know, the need for like human touch, who knows what they're talking about, is very important. Most agencies kind of drop the ball on that when they scale a little bit too fast. Static creation. So, all right, let's see. Let's see where it put this here. Yeah. I'll move this budget part somewhere else. Dang it, man, I'll tell you, when you're streaming, it like really slows down your browser. I'm sorry that you guys have to watch me fumble around like a moron here trying to delete stuff. Okay, so this says your client responsible for filming video based on scripts. Our team will handle post-production. Sure, final videos are met. Scripts will be delivered within the first of each month. Okay, so just for you watching too, I'll kind of run you through what the scope is and how we came up with this scope, because again, something I struggled with as an SEO professional has always been like, the good thing about SEO and PPC for law firms is that as an agency, you can handle everything. And law firms want that. They don't want to deal with really doing too much. The problem with Facebook ads is that, like, if you're really going to do Facebook ads the right way, you have to use video. And I'll talk about how we use faceless video in a second. But tier one is getting video from the client, right? So like, again, I have examples in here of some, this is some just like very simple videos. Right. This is in Spanish, right? But this is an accident attorney walking with her family. She's just talking about like getting in a car accident, making a direct pitch. Let me see if I have a talking head. Here we go. Really good ad. So it's a really good ad, right? Because it has the attorney filmed vertically, which you need, goes after a direct pain point, which is dealing with insurance companies, right? And then it ends with a call to action. These ads do very well in the car accident space, which again is kind of what we specialize in doing here. So that is ideal. And basically what we do is we just provide those scripts to the client, because when I take a new client on now, I basically just come in here and I'll just kind of show you what this project looks like here inside of Claude. But I've got this Weber's Ads Builder here. I'll just show you a past one, right? So this one's all about car accident attorneys, right? So you can see this script and this prompt that I have here spits out ad concepts, angles, ad copy. It spits out a video script, and it's really, really good. So I built this to then deal with the lack of copywriting available, how expensive it is, coming up with ad ideas. It's all automated now. Within like an hour's worth of work, we're basically getting 6 months worth of ads. So the use of Claude and just AI in general has really opened this up for me. Now, again, the one big missing piece here is like, how do we get video done? How do we get attorneys to get on camera? And the answer is, one, we put it in the contract, and two, is that if they don't, then we use what we call faceless videos. Now, faceless videos don't work as well. They do work, but they don't work as well. So again, I'll show you a faceless video here real quick. Non-attorney ad. Let's see this one here. I think I might have already shown you this, but let's just. Right, so one, you have to be very careful about making these claims, but like this type of video, guys, I'm telling you, is the best type of video for Facebook and Instagram ads. Like it's called like native video, right? Because this feels like something you'd see on your feed naturally and organically. So these can do really well. You have to be very mindful of making claims about money. It has to be real. But again, if we can get them to send us a client video or a check, even like their secretary before they send out a check and like do a video like this, and then just we put text on says like call Ryan Stewart Law to like if you've been in a car accident, right? So now the problem with this is the scalability of this. It's getting access to this type of video is not easy to do, but it's what we will do and what we have done. Now you can also you can use AI video generation tools. So something like Sora, for example, right? That was a good example. Let me see if this is it. Okay. So this one just stitched together a viral video with a fake text message. Again, you have to be very careful with this stuff, but the point is that there's ways for us to get video done. We'll also use image ads as well. We prefer video because video just works the best. So provide access to all this stuff for them so they can see it. Again, we're just very, very, very clear. And that's why I always have a direct call. I never send a proposal without having a call because I need to run them through this so they understand, they nod their head. Yep, yep, yep. Get it? Okay. So again, this now goes through and details everything that we need inside of the meta ads management. Now let's go ahead and add another row below here. And let's go back to scope of work. So I also want to put into the scope of work here deliverables. So they know exactly what they're getting. is important. Inside of a proposal, they need to know exactly what they're getting and when they're getting it. What, when, how much. Those three questions that a proposal needs to ask. $5 per month, right? Custom landing page. So I need to also A/B testing. Okay, that's inside of here. Campaign tracking dashboard. We don't have a live dashboard, so I'm just going to remove that. Quarterly performance reviews. Okay. Okay. Deliverables. That's cool. Timeline. So I like to put the timeline down here a little bit. But with this, I just wonder, this is also going to be $5,000 a month. Make that 555. Okay. Don't need this. So this timeline could also work too. But this is fine too. It's not the end of the world. Then I've just got the signature blocks down here. Delete these rows. See where this takes us. Push this down to this page. Be funky on me? All right, that's fine. And then we've just got the signature block here. And we're all set. So that's it. Appreciate you guys sitting with me and going through this. This is, scope of work is now done. If y'all have any questions for me, any comments, what are you guys working on? Anybody got any big pitches coming up? Hit me up, man. Let me know. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know what else you guys want to see from these live sessions. Again, I kind of just up here, stream of consciousness, whatever I'm working on that day, I tend to get up here and talk about, which gives you access to real-time information from somebody who's just trying to build a business and support their family, just like you all. Doesn't look like we have any questions. So as always, appreciate your time, your attention, your effort, your work. Love you all, and God bless you. Have a great day.